Chuffers. Well, they certainly were going to turn down the PA for the famous anthem, You Never Walk Alone, which goes round Anfield at the moment as the two teams warm up in front of us. And just perhaps to emphasise what a nostalgic and historical night it is for Bournemouth, they've just posed kneeling down and standing up in a Champions League World Cup-like picture down by the technical area, not something you often see in the Premier League.
I've never ever seen that before, Steve, and yet, if you think about it and where Bournemouth have come from and what happened all those years ago, why not? Why not indeed?
It is the night where they really realise they're in the Premier League and what they've achieved over these last 6 incredible years. Let me give you the team news while the toss takes place in front of us. Liverpool unchanged from the side that beat Stoke on the opening weekend. Mignolet, Klein, Lovren, Skrtel, Gomez, Ibe, Henderson, Milner, Lallana, Coutinho and Benteke. Bournemouth 2 changes. Out go Gosling and Pugh. In come O'Kane and a full debut for Gradle. So it'll be Boric in goal, Francis, Elphick, Cook and Daniels, the back four from the Championship last season. Ritchie, Sermon, O'Kane and Gradle, and King and Wilson up top as their captain Tommy Elphick just gets them in a group in their change strip of blue and black, arms around each other, final instructions on how they get a result here at Anfield as the sun just begins to go down over the cranes and the new construction we can see of the giant stand that Liverpool are in the midst of building on top of their main stand from opposite our position here, directly across from the famous tunnel and the 2 technical areas where the 2 managers stand at the moment. Eddie Howe, hands in pockets, trainers and tracksuit, and Brendan Rodgers 10 yards to his right, hands in pockets in his new Liverpool suit and tie as his team prepare to get this game underway and their home season underway. It's a sellout and there's not a spare ticket in the away end, away to our right hand side as well, the Anfield Road end in the corner, the first away game in the top flight for Bournemouth, and it's at Anfield. Liverpool trying to make it back-to-back wins and ideally back-to-back clean sheets as well. Get us underway with Benteke and Coutinho. The pitch looks in magnificent condition. It's a perfect, very pleasant night for football. Will it be a pleasant night for Bournemouth in their second experience of the Premier League? And straight away Steve Cook, a little glance at Boric inside his own penalty area, thought better of the back pass and put it out for a throw-in level with the penalty area, which Nathaniel Klein on his home debut was going to take. Into Coutinho, the scorer of the winning goal in the opening weekend. He's dispossessed by O'Kane and it's back just inside halfway with Gomez. And what a night for 18-year-old Joe Gomez to make his Anfield debut. Just 16 starts for Charlton in the Championship last season. Once again at left back for Liverpool. And the way Bournemouth have set up, Mark Lawrence.
Yeah, 2 up front.
2 up top.
Yeah, King and also Wilson as well, which is brave. Let's see if the bravery is rewarded.
Nice little touch in midfield from O'Kane, once of Everton's academy for Bournemouth, brought in place of another former Everton player, Dan Gosling, by Eddie Howe tonight. He was always going to make changes, just 2 of them. And he did say after the opening game against Aston Villa it was the hardest ever team that he's had to pick. And it is difficult. We were talking about a little bit earlier on, Laura, 9 of these players played in the Championship. How long do you stay loyal to them?
Well, only results will tell, but I would think that after you lose the first game, Eddie Howe must have thought long and hard about making even more changes, but he's obviously got faith in these players. They're taking him an awful long way. Let's see.
Only 2 seasons, of course, in the Championship before their promotion, as O'Kane tries to find the new boy, Gradle. And now there's a little bit of space for Daniels, left edge of the penalty area in towards Wilson. Needed the sliding challenge from Martin Skrtel, and the first corner of the game is Bournemouth's.
Yeah, and Coutinho not really doing his defensive duties particularly well, just let Daniels charge forward, and in the end Skrtel had to concede that corner with a sliding challenge.
Liverpool now have everybody back in and around their penalty area. Just 2 minutes in here on 5 Live at Anfield to defend this Bournemouth corner. Both Cook and Elphick are forward for it, the 2 central defenders, the 2 former Brighton teammates. It's gone short though to the edge of the penalty area to O'Kane. Then Simon Francis lifts it in. Needed the defensive header from Adam Lallana as King came in behind him. Simon from Blackburn, very strong challenge by Klein. And also on Klein on the far side, it's a Liverpool free kick. Nathaniel Klein, who In his last appearance at Anfield, scored for Southampton on the opening weekend of last season.
Well, there was no quarter taken or given there, was there? Certainly, I think O'Kane as well went in for the challenge with him, but both got up sportingly.
Now with Martin Skrtel, the Slovakian midway inside his own half, lifting it up, first header of the night for Benteke, into the path of Lallana, 10 yards outside the penalty area, square to Coutinho, he's then looking for Benteke, and at full stretch, Charlie Daniels, top end, concedes the corner. So Liverpool, having defended one, will have a corner of their own, and their captain, Jordan Henderson, gets the ball ready to take it. Bournemouth now with everybody back to defend it. Their worst nightmare, of course, is conceding an early goal. It's drilled in by Henderson, it's towards Benteke, he was beaten to it, then it came to Ibe on the edge of the area, and he sliced it with his right foot, and it faded right across the face of goal.
Yeah, and it sat up beautifully as well for him. He just cut across it more than anything, which obviously is almost became a shank in terms of golf parlance.
Jordan Ibe, the 19-year-old, starting in the Premier League tonight for just the 9th time. He had that successful spell at Derby, which really got him going on loan last season. He came back and started the Merseyside derby. Hasn't really looked back since. Bournemouth were ripping up the Championship at the time. As Wilson is dispossessed by Henderson, he then gave it straight to Sermon, and it's rebounded to Callum Wilson on the right edge of the Liverpool penalty area, up against Lovren. Still Wilson, he's done really well. Gradle's waiting for the cross, and Lovren got back just in the nick of time to concede another corner.
Well, Lovren's very, very lucky because he let Wilson skip round him, and only because Wilson then got past him, got his head up to have a look who was in the box, which was nobody, did Lovren manage to get back and rectify his earlier mistake.
Laura and I still holding our hands up to shield from the evening sun, not that we're complaining. It'll soon be February and we're discussing thermals as the Bournemouth corner comes in, free header, but it won't count. Craig Pawson signals free kick to Liverpool. It was Cook who came in with the header.
Yeah, I think it was, he had his arms on the back of the Liverpool player. He blew very, very early.
Eddie Howe on the far side, bitterly frustrated. In fact, it was Elphick, the captain, who got his head to it.
I'll tell you, what's a goal.
You've just seen the replay of it. And Liverpool breathed a huge sigh of relief.
He just about brushed against him at most.
Very bright start from the Premier League new boys. Certainly not part the proverbial bus in the opening 5.5 minutes on 5 Live at Anfield. And Tommy Elphick, the captain, is still having a conversation with Craig Pawson.
Quite right too.
Strong challenge from Matt Ritchie on Jordan Henderson, just 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half. Liverpool free kick, which the Liverpool skipper has picked himself up to take.
A little taken aback, Liverpool, by how aggressive Bournemouth are. You think, lovely little old Bournemouth, loads of attacking football, they'll let us play. Well, they certainly aren't. They're doing extremely well so far.
And boy, look at it, that was a big call from Craig Pawson, the referee, as Benteke heads it down towards Coutinho, and Cook brings it clear for Bournemouth. Now Matt Ritchie, early ball from him down the right hand side. The pace of Callum Wilson again was worrying Liverpool, and Lovren concedes the throw.
They've done well down this right hand channel so far, Bournemouth.
And Callum Wilson, who got 20 goals in 45 games in his first season in the Championship last season with Bournemouth, the 23-year-old, didn't want to take that throw in quickly, but he leaves it instead for Simon Francis, who throws it to Ritchie. Back to Francis again, crossing opportunity from right back, whips it in, came uncomfortably off the top of Martin Skrtel's head, and it's a third Bournemouth corner. Most
unusual for Martin Skrtel, who would normally just throw his head at it and head it some 40 yards clear, and can't complain that the sun was in his eyes because the sun's in a completely other direction, and a bit skitty at the moment defensively, Liverpool.
0-0, and we've had almost 7 minutes at Anfield on 5 Live. The voice of Mark Lawrenson in the final game of this Premier League weekend, the first at Anfield this season. Liverpool 0, Bournemouth 0. Bournemouth corner drilled in low, cleared by Lallana. It's come back to Gradle, edge of the penalty area, tried to go round Lallana. His clearance then came off the full debutant of Bournemouth, and it's a goal kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he would have been better advised when the ball came back to him, because it was a lucky ricochet anyway, just to take a touch and deliver it in, because everybody was still in the penalty area from Bournemouth's point of view, and they just had a goal chalked off with the ball just played in there, and really still should be 1-0 up, should have been allowed the goal.
Benteke jumping just inside the Bournemouth half, and we saw both Mark and I at Stoke last weekend. There is now a tendency for Liverpool to hit those kind of balls more often with Benteke in the team.
Yeah, which is fine as long as he gets somebody up alongside him, or even run the other side of him as well.
He was too isolated at Stoke, wasn't he?
Well, you know, Coutinho's not the kind of player. Coutinho just wants to sort of play in and around him rather than sort of run up and help him or be alongside him.
Bournemouth have won it back again inside the Liverpool half with Francis at right back, and it's back with Elphick, who didn't miss a single game in the Championship, the Bournemouth skipper last season. And they've started this game very confidently, very calmly, Bournemouth, as Sermon and plays the left-footed diagonal pass over to Gradle. Klein trying to get close to him. Milner required for Liverpool to win it back. Bournemouth throw, applause from Eddie Howe in the technical area, just 5 yards or so where the throw-in is going to take place, with Charlie Daniels, the left back, who came through the Spurs system, of course. Now he is in the Premier League with Bournemouth, and he has it back. Daniels 10 yards outside the penalty area, slides it into Gradle, then to King, his cross cut out by Skirtle inside his 6-yard box. Milner back there helping out, and Liverpool can't clear.
No, they can't get their handle on the ball at all. Very aggressive, we said before, Bournemouth, but the football's very good as well.
0-0 on 5 Live, 9 minutes gone, as Charlie Daniels prepares to take the throw. Just near the corner flag left hand side for Bournemouth. Henderson with the interception, came back out to O'Kane, and there was a foul there by Benteke, and Craig Pawson in his sort of beige and black referee's outfit signals free kick to Bournemouth.
Liverpool have a kit like that a few years ago. Was it called Urku or something like that?
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Wasn't that good?
Mind you, Everton's third kit at Southampton, as you would say. Discuss.
Camouflage, it works. Southampton couldn't see who they were playing against all day long. I didn't see it camouflage class last week, Steve.
Bournemouth are in blue and black tonight, and they have a free kick 10 yards outside the penalty area, which Matt Ritchie is going to leave for Gradle to float in, and it was too strong for Steve Cook, the centre-half, who'd made the run, but he was run unopposed.
He was running unopposed. Nobody picked him up unless somebody were extremely clever in Liverpool defence realised that there's no way Cook was going to reach it, but I think it was the former rather than the latter.
There was danger in the air, the two central defenders for Bournemouth.
And it's so not a foul, we keep getting replayed. The Elphick header, it so isn't a foul at all. Dear, get the game done away with. The referee was in a fantastic position as well.
And Eddie Howe celebrated and then put his head in his hands as he heard the whistle. It was chalked off straight away by the officials, and it is still 0-0, and Bournemouth have made an extremely bright start to this game. 10.5 minutes in at Anfield, but Liverpool now with a chance to attack into the Bournemouth half with Coutinho. Jordan Ibe free to his left hand side up against Francis for Bournemouth. Bright orange boots. Jordan Ibe now has two in front of him, tries to play the 1-2 with Coutinho. The idea was right, but Artur Boruc was quickly off his line top end to gather for Bournemouth.
Just wondering what they're thinking of playing Ibe on the left is, really, from Liverpool's point of view. Whether they think that Francis has a little bit of a weakness when players are running at him.
Because he was predominantly right at Stoke and has been since he got into the Liverpool team. And on their right, Nathaniel Klein has won it back, but then lost out to Gradle. And Bournemouth come forward again, and they've got two in the penalty area. Gradle up against Skirtle, can't get past the Slovakian, who once again can't prevent the corner right in front of the strong army of travelling Bournemouth supporters.
I don't know how many corners that is, Steve, but it would appear that every time Bournemouth come forward, that's the fourth, every time they've come forward they've got something off their attacks, and they're very quick on the attack as well.
Once again, Liverpool have everybody back to defend it. Brendan Rodgers saying after the Stoke game they've worked all summer on defensive solidity. They're being tested early on here, and it was in towards Josh King. He got his head to it just outside the 6-yard box. Couldn't give any direction on it, the Norwegian international, wide of the target.
Yeah, it looked for a split second as it might have come off a Liverpool head, but I think it was Josh King. See the guy they signed from Blackburn?
He's a giant, isn't he, the 23-year-old?
And he's quick.
Arrived at Manchester United as a 17-year-old, never appeared for their first team. They had high hopes of signing him on the recommendation of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he has, like so many of these Bournemouth players, gone a roundabout route to finally play in the top flight of English football. And this remarkable journey that Bournemouth have been on in their first game away from the South Coast here at Anfield.
Well, that's nearly quarter of an hour, and I can't remember Liverpool actually getting the ball down and doing something like 3 or 4 passes together. I think they've been surprised by the intensity of Bournemouth.
First league meeting ever between these two clubs. Daniels makes the challenge on the left-hand side for Bournemouth. It's back with Coutinho for Liverpool. Benteke inside the penalty area. He was looking for Milner rather than taking it on himself, and in the end Elphick was able to clear for Bournemouth. Liverpool throw level with the visitors' penalty area down the right-hand side. Klein in his bright blue boots taking it.
Just Liverpool leaving 3 up against 1 defensively. Don't quite get that.
Here's Coutinho just outside the penalty area, looking for the movement of Lallana ahead of him, but again Bournemouth with a tidy interception. Sermon that time, back to Ibe, disappointing touch from him, cleared by Elphick. A little hurried on that occasion from Bournemouth, and Jordan Henderson was able to regain possession for Liverpool, who played across their back 4 to Klein, try to feed Milner, who just pops up on the right hand side with Charlie Daniels in attendance. Then Klein going for the 1-2 and getting the cross in, and the cross came Cook with the block. It's still alive though potentially for Liverpool. Daniels needs to clear under pressure from Coutinho. Bournemouth throw.
Best piece of Liverpool play that was, much better. Klein actually probably should have done better when he got in behind.
0-0 at Anfield, full commentary from Old Trafford tomorrow night, remember, on 5 Live. Manchester United taking on Club Brugge in the Champions League. 5 Live on Sport. 5 Live Sport on air from 6:30. New time with Chappers tomorrow. All the build-up ahead of that crucial game for Louis van Gaal and Manchester United, as Lovren plays the back pass to Simon Mignolet, clad in all yellow in the Liverpool goal tonight, and he ushers it out to Martin Skrtel, still with that bandage round his left wrist, cut out comfortably by O'Kane on halfway. There's been some nervous passes from Liverpool in the opening quarter of an hour, and Skrtel goes back to Mignolet once more. The Belgian international with a huge kick upfield, looking for his fellow countryman Benteke, who won it ahead of Cook. But
he's won every header. He's won every header. You'd think the penny would have dropped by now. Every single header he's won, and unfortunately no Liverpool player has got on the end of his flicks.
And is that because they haven't had a player of that ilk for a few seasons? Will it take time to adjust in that sense?
Steve, I'm not being funny. 6 foot flipping 4 when, like he's never going to win any headers. Goodness sake.
Here's Coutinho. Benteke ahead of him. Cut out comfortably by Francis in the right back position for Bournemouth. That with Gomez on halfway. Liverpool just trying to get hold of the ball and sustain a period of possession. Henderson 10 yards inside his own half. Cross to Martin Skrtel, who then plays the long diagonal pass looking for Ibe, comfortably cut out by Francis. Strong challenge then from Ritchie. Bouncing ball for Elphick, the captain, inside his own penalty area. It's not a night or a ground to take any chances, and Tommy Elphick clears for a Liverpool throw. 0-0 after 15 and a half minutes at Anfield on 5 Live. Gomez trying to make progress down the left-hand side, the 18-year-old on his Anfield debut. Headed back on halfway by Lovren. Still all a little scrappy from Liverpool's point of view, and that will suit Bournemouth.
Yeah, the other thing with Bournemouth, especially across the midfield, they're almost man-marking every single Liverpool player in that area when Liverpool have the ball.
Well, they proved last season, and Eddie Howe certainly drummed it into them. They do like to play football. It's always been a brave team over the years. They've tried to play it here.
Yeah.
But so far, they'll be satisfied with their start, Bournemouth, as Coutinho picks it up halfway. Ball over the top, looking for Benteke. Hit the Anfield turf, took it away from the big Belgian, and into the arms of Boric.
But you could see something with that, because that was Coutinho dropping deep, head up, ball out of his feet, little look, try and play Benteke in.
Bournemouth have it again in their left back position, trying to play their way out of trouble. Up towards Wilson, close attendance from Lovren. Henderson all the way back to Simon.
Tell you what, Skrtel and Lovren know they're in for a real battle tonight, not just physical but also in terms of pace, with the front two Bournemouth have.
I was going to ask you about those two, because Brendan Rodgers talked long and hard about central defensive partnerships ahead of this game and how he feels those two can develop. As someone who had a very successful central defensive partnership here over the years.
Did he say feel they can develop or hopes they could develop?
You don't share those hopes, no?
No, I'm just, because, I mean, Lovren obviously was slightly surprised, or surprising, that he started the season in that particular position. I don't know what's happened to Mamadou Sakho. He's completely gone off the radar.
Yeah, we understand that Roma wanted to take him on loan earlier this week. That was rebuffed. Meanwhile, here's Coutinho trying to wriggle 5 yards outside the penalty area into some space, and groans around Anfield as Wilson cut out his pass, and the Bournemouth striker has it again. Back from Skirtle for Liverpool, headed away comfortably by Elphick. Potential use of the arm from Milner, shake of the head from the referee as he makes progress down the right hand side. Comfortably again cut out by Steve Cook on the edge of his own penalty area, and then deflected out for a Bournemouth throw.
Even Cook and the likes of Elphick as well, you know, the defenders for Bournemouth get the ball down, take it off the chest, look to pick a pass out, and then they got in trouble there.
Well, they're not showing any signs of nerves, that is for sure, on their big night. As Coutinho has it 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half. 0-0 on 5 Live between Liverpool and Bournemouth. They have met, of course, in the domestic cup competitions, these two, in the last couple of seasons. Liverpool winning away on both occasions. In the League Cup last season. This is the big Premier League meeting. Coutinho again floating a ball, this time left hand side to Ibe, tried to take it in his stride. He was almost thinking about what he was going to do with the ball before he had it under control.
Yeah, and I think, you know, because of a not particularly good left foot early on in his career, I think on the other side he would have just chested it down and quite normally taken on his right foot and delivered the cross. Great ball from Coutinho.
Once again he was dropping deep to get on the ball.
Yeah, which is what they want. It's more difficult to pick up there.
Here's another question for you. How's he not in the Brazilian squad? Well, he was. How's he been left out of the Brazilian squad?
Absolutely no idea.
They must have some terrific players.
Firmino's in it, isn't he?
He is. Mm-hmm. He's on the bench again for Liverpool tonight, along with Danny Ings and Origi.
That is the thing about Liverpool's bench now in their squad, Steve. The bench looks like a proper bench, doesn't it?
And you look at some of the players who aren't even in the matchday squad tonight. Again, Lucas is the subject of a lot of speculation. Sakho, Laura's just mentioned. Markovic we saw come in and is still in his suit.
Yeah, I think Lucas will leave. I think they'll let him leave.
Does that surprise you?
A little bit, but I think they fell out a little bit last year as well, to himself and the manager, and everyone kind of thought he was going to go in the January transfer window.
20 minutes gone at Anfield on 5 Live. Liverpool 0, Bournemouth 0. It hasn't been the one-sided game that some might have suggested. And Bournemouth have it on halfway with Sermon. They missed only 5 games in the Championship for them last season. Again, that loyalty being shown by Eddie Howe, the manager. Floated across by Ritchie. What a ball, right across into the path of Gradle. Equally good challenge, I have to say, well timed by Klein to win it back for Liverpool. Warm support all round Anfield for that challenge from the new boy. And here's another one, Milner into Gomez on halfway. Poor ball from him though as he tried to pick out Lallana, and Bournemouth have it back with Ritchie. Again, they're trying those neat, intricate passes into the feet of King. Wilson takes charge. It's just a little outside the Liverpool penalty area, right-hand side. Wilson's gone past Henderson. He's looking for the shooting opportunity. Was trying to square it to Gradle and cleared by Klein. Really adventurous approach from Bournemouth.
They just panicked a little bit. There was no need to.
Here they come again down the left-hand side. Charlie Daniels stretching his legs and getting in the cross. Almost fell to Wilson. Skirtle didn't really deal with it, and Liverpool got away with it.
Well, it sort of ricocheted off an attempted clearance by Skirtle and came to King. Was it King or was it Wilson? And his actual first touch wasn't particularly good.
But again, the space that Daniels had.
Great ball in from Daniels as well, making obviously Liverpool defend.
Eddie Howe is clapping his hands on the far side, but his team have defending to do as Ibe goes into the penalty area now. Ryan Francis, and across came Matt Ritchie helping out defensively. Liverpool corner.
But Steve, that was a break by Liverpool, but you think, because you say the word break, that obviously, you know, numbers were equal. It was 3 Liverpool players against 7 Bournemouth players.
And one of them, the Scottish international Matt Ritchie, did the job. So Liverpool have the corner, which Coutinho is going to whip in at pace, inviting one, headed away by Sermon, back in from Henderson, cleared by Ritchie again, all the way back to Joe Gomez inside his own half. 0-0 at Anfield, approaching the midway point between Liverpool and Bournemouth, the very first league meeting between these two. Coutinho into the feet of Benteke inside the penalty area, heavy touch from the £32.5 million man, and it's back now with Daniels in his dark green boots into the centre circle to Josh King, run back by Coutinho, and uproar all round Anfield as Craig Pawson says free kick Bournemouth.
Mind you, I was going to say it was just a shoulder charge by Coutinho. I suppose if he gave a foul down, the Liverpool end in terms of Bournemouth attacking and should have scored, he's always going to give a foul for a shoulder charge. Somebody tell him it's a man's game, Steve.
It's all he asks him to be consistent.
Yeah, but consistently bad at the moment.
It's back with Ritchie for Bournemouth on the right hand side, just a yard or two inside the Liverpool half. The pitch in magnificent condition, as you would expect, A at Anfield and B in August. But Liverpool haven't had the ball as much as they would have expected or liked on it at the moment. Wayward pass though from Bournemouth. Benteke goes for goal, 5 yards outside the penalty area, always rising, and it ends up into the cop.
Yeah, well, that's just pleased everybody, as you can hear, the fact that he never thought about passing, had a little quick look, and wasn't a bad strike actually, but we were right behind. It was actually never going into the far corner, but it certainly got a big ooh.
Got them off their seats. There's no one more relieved than Matt Ritchie, because he was the one who gave the ball away cheaply, rolled perfectly into the path of Benteke, who would dearly love a goal on his Liverpool home debut. Coutinho, as Liverpool try and find a way into this game. We've had 24 minutes of it, 0-0 on 5 Live. Coutinho again from Gomez, little jink away from King. Inside the centre circle is Henderson, back to Coutinho. Liverpool so keen to get the little Brazilian on the ball as much as they can. Henderson receives the ball from Klein, shouts of man on as Callum Wilson came back. Bournemouth now have every player deep inside their own half. Lovren on halfway, and Gomez is quickly closed down by Ritchie, but Liverpool enjoying an extended period of possession. Lallana trying to make progress down the Liverpool left, twisting and turning, and then right-footed going back to Joe Gomez. Henderson coming deep, and now Lovren joining in, crossing halfway. Skirtle, not too many options ahead of him. Klein in an advanced position, Gradle had gone back with him. Milner now on the ball, just had a little look up looking for the movement. Straight into the feet of Coutinho, twisting, turning, and then rolling it beautifully into Ibe, cross from him into the penalty area. Well defended by Bournemouth, off Francis for a Liverpool corner.
Yeah, it was interesting when a good Liverpool player that it was came to Ibe, hit a very early crossing. There were some 7 or 8 blue-shirted Bournemouth players in there defending.
They've worked on their organisation for 9 days since their opening day defeat to Aston Villa. The starting 11, it was only assembled for £12 million, Bournemouth. And you consider what Liverpool have spent.
Fantastic.
It is an unbelievable story. And they're holding their own here at the moment after 25 and a half minutes as Henderson plays the corner back to Klein, 10 yards outside the penalty area, back to Henderson. Great ball in from Henderson, in came Benteke, and Liverpool leads. And the £32.5 million man has a goal on his Anfield debut. Top end. Liverpool needed that. Dream script for Christian Benteke. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0.
Well, in the 27 minutes of however long it is since we started, that's the first mistake Bournemouth had made. They just stood in a line as the cross came in. It looked to me as like 2 or 3 Liverpool players could have scored that goal. Straight away I kind of thought, was he offside, Benteke? We've just got to capture now. No, he wasn't, was he? He wasn't. Took it well actually, because it bounced up just in front of him, but Bournemouth just stopped completely. Almost came off his studs, doesn't it? Did well because it was going quite high.
Well, it was Coutinho who made the first attempt to get the ball, who might have been in an offside position.
And he should therefore,
with the new rule
with
this
the new
season.
rule, exactly. But we couldn't really see, can we? I'm sure someone in the studio is watching it.
Either way, when he woke up this morning, That's what Christian Benteke dreamt of. His first Liverpool goal, Anfield Cop end.
Yeah. And I think Henderson lost the toss, didn't he, in terms of kick-off, so it was meant to be.
So after their spirited start, Bournemouth trail at Anfield, hooked away by Francis for the newly promoted team. And a foul on Milner by Josh King. And these are important moments now for Bournemouth, having just conceded.
Yeah. Just keep the nerve. You know, you've done extremely well so far. One moment in another, one lack of concentration's cost a goal, but just keep your nerve, keep playing.
Coutinho, he's enjoying himself already in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Another Bournemouth foul, this time Gradle on Klein. He stopped his progress down the Liverpool right, almost level with the penalty area, so Liverpool will have the set play opportunity. Every single Bournemouth player ushered back.
Well, you know, Liverpool just scored from a cross where no Bournemouth player reacted, so you don't need anything arty-farty here. Just stick it round about the penalty area, in the middle between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box, and just see what Bournemouth do in terms of defensive.
I won't repeat that, but it was beautiful. No technical terms, pro zone required. Let's see if Liverpool can carry it out. Jordan Henderson, the skipper, right-footed, goes square. There's the effort from him. He holds his head in his hands, Jordan Henderson. It was well worked. It just wasn't dipping enough.
Actually, he did fantastic because it bounced just in front of him, and he kind of guided it sort of side-footish, and he did as well as possible to keep it and just clipped the top of the crossbar.
6 Premier League goals last season. Jordan Henderson with that captain's armband on. It did seem a little surreal opening the match programme tonight and looking at the skipper's notes and seeing his face and name after all the years.
I thought you were going to say the writing was joined up.
I'll tell you a story about the missing number in a moment. Here's Jordan Ibe with the cross for Liverpool in towards Benteke, well defended by Cook and headed in the air by O'Kane, and then Coutinho went to ground. There was no free kick, and Bournemouth have it back with Simon Francis, their right back, who launches it long towards Wilson, comfortably headed back by Lovren, only to Ritchie on halfway. And here's Wilson again, the man that Bournemouth got from Coventry, and he was so important in their promotion season. Tried to turn away from Lovren, but he had 3 Liverpool players around him there. And Lovren won the first tackle and then the second. And Liverpool have it back with Gomez on their left, and they can play their way across the back 4 once again. Approaching the half-an-hour mark in Liverpool's first home game of the season. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0 on 5 Live. Christian Benteke, who's jumping again for the ball now, knocking it back edge of the penalty area towards Coutinho. Lovely balance and feet from the Brazilian. He's beginning to pop it about. Philip Coutinho. Henderson into the Brazilian once more. Benteke back here from him. This is Coutinho off the legs of Charlie Daniels on the edge of his own penalty area. Liverpool corner. Well,
the interplay there between Lallana, Benteke and Coutinho, especially Coutinho, looks extremely bright at the moment.
5 Live, the home of 128 Premier League commentaries this season, more than any other broadcaster. This one is Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. It's a Liverpool corner, Cop end, and it's another aerial test for Bournemouth. The signal is given by Jordan Henderson. He drills it in, and there was an early infringement. Craig Pawson just outside the penalty area closed for a Bournemouth free kick.
Yeah, I have to look at that cynical old pro, because he gave one at the other end. He might just even it out.
Yes, they will talk long and hard about that, Bournemouth. Big call in case you're just switching on.
I would hope, Steve, they will argue about it, because they've been badly done by.
They could have been, and Loro thinks should have been. 1-0 up through Tommy Elphick, their captain. Had a goal ruled out for a foul on Lovren, and Liverpool through Benteke have scored after 26 minutes at the other end. Francis on halfway, beaten to it almost by Ibe. Good work from Sermon, fouled by Lallana.
Actually, it's now Liverpool in midfield who are making Bournemouth hurry. I think originally Bournemouth were making all the Liverpool players get their head down in midfield so they couldn't have a little look and pop the ball off. And now it's gone the other way.
Liverpool haven't lost their opening home match in any of the last 11 Premier League seasons. They're 1-0 up in this one as Charlie Daniels tries to advance down the left-hand side for Bournemouth. He went for the return pass from Sermon. Good knocking up from Milner. He's a dream pro, James Milner, isn't he? You just want him in your dressing room.
Yeah, everything about him. You'd have 11 of him, wouldn't you?
Newly installed vice-captain for Liverpool, bringing that experience, of course, 2 Premier League titles at Manchester City. As Klein, one of the new boys, takes the throw. Benteke was being fouled 10 yards inside his own half. Liverpool free kick. And they have struggled in the last couple of years. I've been here on their opening home games. Last year they were a little fortunate to beat Southampton when Klein scored, and the year before that they needed Simon Mignolet's late penalty save to beat Stoke by a goal to 0. And that was the point Brendan Rodgers has been making. The slow starters can't be repeated this season. Last year was their worst start to a league season in 22 years. But they're 1-0 up here as Bournemouth are in possession with Sermon just a couple of yards inside the Liverpool half. Spraying it on the left-hand side to Daniels. Then back to Sermon again, who's closed down by Henderson. Charlie Daniels, the 28-year-old, had his pass blocked by Klein. And right in front of the 2 managers, both in the technical area, their throw will be Bournemouth's.
They use the full width of the pitch, Bournemouth, don't they? They use it extremely well. Get somebody right on the line, left or right, just to open up the pitch and make it bigger.
Daniels looking for a little bit of movement from the throw down the Bournemouth left. He gets it from Gradle, bouncing ball. He hasn't given it up though, stopped in his tracks by Lovren. And now Coutinho, over halfway, only really Benteke in front of him. Was he fouled by O'Kane? He was. And it's going to be the first yellow card of the night. That was quite simply the only way to stop Philippe Coutinho.
Yeah, I think the only unfortunate thing for O'Kane is I think Coutinho just knocked the ball a little bit ahead of him, but O'Kane had already decided he was going to commit the foul, I think.
The 25-year-old who spent a couple of years in Everton's academy across Stanley Park, the Irishman, who 3.5 seasons ago was playing for Torquay United. Here he is playing for Bournemouth in the Premier League at Anfield, and he has a yellow card to mark it.
He's not looking out of place either.
Recalled one of the 2 changes made by Eddie Howe tonight to Bournemouth. Beaten 1-0 on the opening day, losing 1-0 here with 10.5 minutes to half-time. Liverpool free kick midway inside the Bournemouth half.
This is a training ground thing, because the 2 centre-backs haven't gone up, have they?
It's touched from Henderson to Lallana, whipped in by Henderson, headed away by Sermon, and then back to Gomez. A little more work required on that particular plan from Liverpool. Benteke, the goal scorer, a lovely little flick, not for the first time tonight, which found Milner, and that goal has really settled Liverpool down. Henderson, now Coutinho, midway inside the Bournemouth half. Jordan Henderson once more, the new Liverpool captain. Gomez, hugging the touchline on the left-hand side. Patience again from Liverpool, back to Gomez. Lallana had made a run ahead of him. Bournemouth trying to remain organised and resolute out of possession, but it's picked up by Coutinho, trying to float it into Lallana, and all he could do was a diving header which went harmlessly into the arms of Boric.
Yeah, just slightly overhit. Good idea again. I mean, his range of passing is fantastic, isn't it? Coutinho, short, long. And the great thing is, Steve, one touch, gets his head up and always tries to play forward.
And Bournemouth again, just a little short with their pass. It was Gradle on that occasion, and he's getting told as well by Sermon as they concede another unnecessary free kick, really 10 yards outside the penalty area. It was just a heavy touch and he put his teammate in trouble.
He did, yeah. Also a little bit of pressure from Liverpool. Centre-backs are going up this time, so...
Sermon committed the foul in the end on Lallana. Lovren and Skirtle have joined Benteke in the penalty area.
I look at that wall. Do you really need four in that wall from the angle where it is, at the distance as well? I don't think you do. I'd love a Premier League team and a goalkeeper not to have a wall. Just be very, very interesting to see what the opposition do.
Well, Boric is barking instructions at it. There's 5 in it now, actually. O'Kane has left it to Mark Coutinho, and Milner is behind it, and he's just rolled it to his right to Henderson, went to ground, got back up straight away, pulled it back, Headed away by Elphick. That one almost worked for Liverpool between Milner and Henderson.
Yeah, I presume maybe Henderson's honesty, he didn't actually try and play for a penalty or even fall to the floor, did he? He got up and got on with it.
He was bursting down the right-hand side with Gradle.
Yeah. Well, the referee gave a foul at the other end for a minor altercation, didn't he?
But in fairness to Jordan Henderson, he was straight back up, wasn't he?
Yes.
Looking for the cross and the pullback. Bournemouth with 7.5 minutes more to negotiate to half-time after their very bright start at Anfield, trailing 1-0 on 5 Live. Skirtle in ahead of Wilson, just on the edge of the penalty area to concede the throw, which Simon Francis, the 30-year-old, 4 years at the club, having arrived from Charlton, is going to take. He's just looking for a little bit of movement from it. In fact, he's going to leave it for Steve Cook to try and throw it with a little more trajectory and ask Liverpool a question inside their own penalty area. There's a long run-up from Cook as well. Launches it in, they're looking for the flick, and all they got was the foul, and Liverpool get the free kick. It was the captain Elphick penalised.
Well, this time he was climbing. It very much was a foul.
And Bournemouth regroup again.
Have they actually got any players come through their ranks, as it were?
No. But it's a very well assembled.
Well, I know. I think that was the other thing. And two ways of looking at it, isn't it? We talked about, Charlie Austin for 15 million, and look where and how they've got all their players.
The whole team, remember, tonight cost £12 million for Bournemouth. And they started this game in a very positive fashion. But we say it so many times throughout the course of the season at any level, it's amazing what a goal does, because Liverpool have looked very different since they scored, and they're trying to get down the right-hand side now with Klein. Bradle's gone back with him, and he's done well. The former Leeds and Leicester player to goal kick.
Yeah, did much better this time. He was a little bit almost flippant in his challenge with Henderson before.
It was one of their more larger outlays in the summer to bring him back to England from St Etienne, where he'd had 4 years.
How much was he?
7.
So he was more than half.
You were good at maths, weren't you?
That figures.
Richie. Well, in a moment I won't have an answer for one of your questions. Here's Gradle. Now Daniels. Good left-footed cross from him, deep one towards Wilson, who was challenging with Gomez. And it drops to Jordan Ibe. And Milner, edge of his own penalty area, calmly and coolly rolls it into the feet of Lallana. Looks up and looks for, guess who? Coutinho, who was fouled by Daniels. That looked a soft one.
No, I think that was. I think Daniels knew exactly what he was doing. Just bumped into him and just kind of put him off. Maybe even said boo as well.
He's beginning to be one of those players that sometimes just his presence worries his defenders. If he can do it consistently, that's the big question. Well, there's a question for you, Fritz.
Well, I mean, in his sort of season before last, you look at Coutinho, he'd do your 60 minutes and then would just disappear and ended up get taken off. Last year, he lasted much longer. He's got fantastic ability, but the greatest thing for me is his awareness. His awareness he's got a special skill in terms of his awareness, and also we said before, unlike most players on the pitch tonight, gets the ball and looks forward. Steve always looks forward. He knows he can go back at any time or sideways, always looks to go forward.
Francis clears in the right back position. I don't think it's any secret either that that's where he wants to play. That's his favourite position.
Well, it's number 10, isn't it? The only thing when you play in that position, you've got to have lots of the ball and you've got to dominate the play, otherwise you can be seen as somewhat of a luxury.
Here's Henderson. Rather conveniently, he does wear number 10 for Liverpool as well. Coutinho, he's just drifted to the right as Lallana bursts through the middle. He was watched all the way by Cook, who managed to block the cross from Adam Lallana. Another Liverpool corner.
He's got a big season, Lallana. Everybody knows he's a good player, but they haven't really seen it consistently at Anfield yet. My only criticism of him sometimes, he has like 10 touches when 2 would do, to be honest with you.
He missed the start of last season when he first signed through injury that set him back, and he himself, with hands on hips, is preparing to take the Liverpool corner. It was over Skirtle. Lovren had a flea swing at it, almost on the penalty spot, and made no connection whatsoever. The Croatian. And at the other end, Gomez ushers it back to Mignolet. you can hear what the Liverpool supporters thought about that burst of pace and awareness from young Joe Gomez.
Yeah, strong and powerful. He doesn't look 18, does he?
No. Long ball forward from Klein, which Benteke chases, and it goes out for a goal kick, and it's still Benteke's goal, in case you're just switching on, after 26 minutes. That separates the two teams here on 5 Live. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. Remember, 5 Live Sport tomorrow night features Manchester United and Club Brugge in the Champions League qualifier first leg from the new time of 6:30. Saturday, Manchester United feature at home to Newcastle, 12:45. John Murray and Chris Waddle will bring you that game, full commentary, and then Laura's with Ian Dennis at the King Power Stadium for Leicester against Tottenham from 3, and the weekend is rounded off across Stanley Park here. Everton, Manchester City from 4, all on 5 Live Sport. 1-0 Liverpool. Gomez on halfway. Must be paying you big bucks to get you out of the northwest. Leicester, big trip for you, that.
I'll come out in a rash.
Here's Klein. Back to Skirtle. Liverpool seeing this first half out comfortably. And the Slovakian looking for the ball over the top for Benteke. Lovely little knockdown. One bounce into the path of Coutinho. Inside the penalty area, then out. Then tried the curler. Blocked by Sermon. It's come to Klein. Coutinho in charge again. Outside of his right foot. Rebounded to Coutinho. Should have done better. Wide of the target.
Yeah, he should have scored, actually, a player of his ability. Just came back to him on his left foot. And you can see what he's trying to do. Just pass it into the far corner. Just got it horribly wrong.
He punches the turf in frustration. He knows that was a big chance.
He got a little bit of a break as well, didn't he, when it came off for the defender. It was well wide.
The match winner from the opening weekend at the Britannia Stadium. 8 goals he got for Liverpool last season, 5 of them in the Premier League.
You never thought a goal of that quality was going to win that game, did you?
I didn't think we were going to get a goal.
That's what I mean.
It was a welcome sight for the neutral. And in particular for Liverpool. In fact, when I spoke to Brendan Rodgers after that game, you just puffed his cheeks out. It was relief, nothing more than that. Here's Lallana for Liverpool. We're inside the last 60 seconds of the first half here at Anfield. And Benteke, the goal scorer, has won it back near the corner flag, trying to get round Francis. Important for Bournemouth now. They get to the break, trailing by just the 1 goal. All the way back to Mignolet, and he's just trotted outside his penalty area to get involved, really. Such has been Liverpool's possession in the last 10 minutes or so. And Skirtle, and now Lovren. Gomez on the halfway line, looks so comfortable on the ball as well. Goes back to the Croatian Lovren. Henderson joining in. 1 minute of time to add on. It's signalled by the 4th official, Mike Jones, on the far side. 1 goal that still separates these two on 5 Live, scored by Christian Benteke, but Henderson floats one into the right channel for Klein to chase. Charlie Daniels goes back with him, the left back for Bournemouth. Klein prevented the goal kick, did he? No, he didn't.
Free kick, I think, actually, Steve. And he's given a free kick.
On the far side, the referee's assistant. What might Eddie Howe say to his troops?
Well, he has to forget about the goal that wasn't, although we've been much agreed. He'll probably mention that later. But I think he'll just say to his players, just keep playing. But the other thing as well is, you know, and we said this before, didn't we, in the build-up about 9 players all played in the Championship. It's just that concentration. I mean, they lost a goal because of a lack of concentration. That's all that it was. Otherwise, they've given as good as they've got here.
Long from Boric, final few seconds, the last second of the first half as Craig Pawson blows the whistle. Liverpool in front of the break. Christian Benteke off and running in a Liverpool shirt with a goal after 26 minutes. Bournemouth will point to the goal that was ruled out from their captain Tommy Elphick before it, and Liverpool might think they should have doubled their advantage when a chance fell to Philippe Coutinho. But as it is, in the very first league meeting between these two, at the end of the first 45 minutes, the half-time scoreline, Chappers: Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. Thanks, Chappers. No changes from either side at half-time. Bournemouth in blue and black get us underway in the second half. I'll remind you the teams in a second. Bournemouth attacking the Kop end in the second half, and immediately they've given it away to Coutinho, who's just outside the penalty area. One little touch and then he just tried to fade it into James Milner down the right hand side. Gradle's header, not convincing. Liverpool have it back with Milner, he wasn't convincing either. And it's now with Daniels in the left back position for Bournemouth. Poor touch from Sermon. Milner almost nipped in on the stretch inside the penalty area. Important moments these for Bournemouth at the beginning of the second half, and it's a goal kick in the end.
Steve, that came from Bournemouth's kick-off, and they actually went backwards, which are really surprised, and they just then couldn't get the ball out of their own half into Liverpool's and almost conceded.
Now let me explain. Lauren are right on the halfway line, opposite the main stand here at Anfield. The goal scored by Christian Benteke, away to our left-hand side. We've had a chance to both have a look at that goal again, which we of course only had the naked eye in the first half. We've also had a chance to brush up exactly the changes to the law, and it is our understanding that even if a player is in an offside position and goes to play the ball, the referee has to be sure he impacts the goalkeeper's decision. Clear?
Well, no, I think it's very clear, but I would say that Coutinho does impact the goalkeeper's decision, because Boric has got to look at him thinking he's going to touch it. Then he hasn't got, a split
Paulson's got to
second.
call that instantly, hasn't
I
he?
agree.
He's got to be 100% right.
I agree, but I think he got it wrong.
Gradle trying to make headway inside the penalty area with Klein, and it's come back out to Sermon. Ritchie, 10 yards outside the penalty area, got it on his left. Decent connection straight at Mignolet.
Yeah, that was a problem. And wasn't the decent connection being the problem, but straight at Mignolet, either side of him, it was a problem.
I should point out as well that Laura's had a chance to look at the Tomic Elphick goal that wasn't a goal, and you haven't changed your opinion on that either.
No, that was a goal.
It'd be boring if we had nothing to talk about.
Yeah, could talk about the new stand.
Yeah, go on.
It looks a bit haunting, doesn't it? With the sun.
It's not nice now the sun's gone
down.
now.
No, I know, yeah.
I think it's not so nice on the other side of Stanley Park either, you were saying.
Yeah, you sit in the main stand at Goodison, you can see the new stand going up at Liverpool, just what you want.
Ouch. 1-0 Liverpool on 5 Live. Lovren challenging Josh King, the Norwegian international, and it's a Bournemouth throw. Level with the Liverpool penalty area, the floodlights shining brightly now on this Monday, August evening at Anfield. Okay, midway inside the Liverpool half, trying to roll it into Francis, beautifully cut out by Gomez, and then Henderson able to find Coutinho. He was looking for Klein's run on the overlap. Daniels did really well, stood his ground, fouled by the Brazilian. Bournemouth free kick 10 yards inside the Liverpool half, which they take quickly.
Liverpool fans wanted a handball as well against the Bournemouth player, but it wasn't. The ball just hit him.
Wilson just outside the penalty area. Bright start to the second half, just as it was the first from Bournemouth, and then a curling effort from Ritchie across the face of goal and wide.
What a good chance there, because Lallana ran at him and Ritchie just had him on a piece of toe, slipped the ball inside onto his favoured left foot. You just think he's going to caress it round the goalkeeper and just got it wrong.
He's still berating himself as well, Matt Ritchie.
Lallana sold the jerseys.
Exciting player Ritchie, took part in every single league game last season. He got 15 goals in the Championship from wide areas. The 25-year-old. Eddie Howe applauds on the far side, the 37-year-old. He was an Everton fan as a boy, you know. Gary Lineker was his hero when he played for Everton.
Well, he's there a year.
Forward from Ritchie once again to Wilson, running at Lovren, shooting opportunity, blocked by Gomez. A half-hearted appeal from Ritchie alone, really, for the use of a hand, and Liverpool can bring it clear. It's a much more open start to this second period. Milner over halfway on the right-hand side for Liverpool, on his home debut as well. Remember, Firmino, Ings and Origi all amongst the Liverpool substitutes again, as Henderson lost it forward to the goal scorer Benteke, back to Coutinho, and it rebounds back out to Milner. And Coutinho again on the ball for Liverpool. Lovely little fast pass into the feet of Lallana, who switches it to Gomez midway inside the Bournemouth half. Here's Ibe up against Francis, just lost his footing, nothing more than that, and it is a Bournemouth throw, given away cheaply again though by the newly promoted team. Ibe on the edge of the penalty area, didn't get his angles right, and it drifts nearer the corner flag than it does near Boric's goal.
Yeah, it's cut in from the left. It's one of those, as a defender, you know he's going to switch it to his right foot. It's just a matter whether you kind of gamble a little bit and try and block him off, and then he might make you look stupid and cutting on the left-hand side.
Still 1-0 to Liverpool. We're just seeing a shot of Emre Can getting
He's coming on, isn't he?
from Gary McAllister, the first-team coach. He's sitting alongside Sean O'Driscoll, the Liverpool assistant manager. First experience in the dugout for him, formerly in charge of Bournemouth, of course. Here's Coutinho, just outside the penalty area. His effort deflected off the outstretched leg of Cook, over and past the post, Liverpool corner.
Cook did well, actually. You could see what Coutinho was doing, looking into the far post, just a bit into the angle to smash it in there, and good block by Cook.
Well, we've only played
Henderson coming off.
6 minutes of the second half. I can only assume there's a problem for the Liverpool skipper. It's a big moment for James Milner, because he's just been past the armband.
Yeah, captain Liverpool in your first Premiership game.
And you can see the disappointment on Henderson's face as he is forced to leave the field just 6 minutes into the second half. A shake of the head and applause for the crowd, and Emre Can, who came on at Stoke in the opening weekend, who Brendan Rodgers now sees as an out-and-out holding midfield player, is on in his place.
Yeah, it was obviously a problem he'd already had, as Lorna slips going to take the corner. It's always funny, that, isn't it? Especially in front of the away supporters.
I was just about to say, right in front of the Bournemouth fans, who deal with the corner comfortably. Second header away by Gradle. Out only as far as Klein. 1-0 Liverpool on 5-line. First touch for Can, trying to take on Gradle, giving Gradle's pace. That was rather ambitious from the Liverpool substitute. He ended up committing the foul, and it's a Bournemouth free kick.
Yeah, well, he would just sit in the exact same position that Henderson was playing, and actually might sit a little bit more than Henderson, naturally, I think.
Bright yellow boots for the 21-year-old, who of course played in the European Under-21 Championships for Germany in the summer, beginning his second season in Liverpool red, as Boric, the Polish international, kicks long the free kick for Bournemouth. Bounces at the feet of King, who's in direct competition with Can, who straight away is involved. He might have been caught by the boot inadvertently of King. He stayed down Can inside the centre circle, and because he was holding his head, Craig Pawson has stopped the play.
Well, in fairness to the referee, because he's had a little bit of stick, but he's had a good long look at Can and decided it is a head injury, and quite rightly has stopped the play.
And that just gives Brendan Rodgers and Eddie Howe on the far side, as we look at it, chance to chat to a few players. Jordan Ibe is the one getting particular instruction from Brendan Rodgers. We know about his talent, we know about his promise. Hasn't really been
the manager or
Jordan Ibe? Yeah. He hasn't really been able to get into this game.
No, not greatly. Playing on the left, which in terms of experience will help him, but I still think he's going to be a very, very good player, Jordan Ibe. The thing about him playing on the right, Steve, the other thing he does, he cuts it as well as goes on the outside all the time, and if you're a left back playing against him, it makes it difficult to know what exactly he's going to do.
Gomez, Can is okay, and it's Lallana midway inside his own half, just turning away from OK, and back to the lime green boots of Jathan Lovren, who kicks along into the left channel for Benteke to chase, and chase he does, and he got there ahead of Elphick, and he was second favourite as well, Benteke. Ibe now, left edge of the penalty area, twisting and turning into Milner, who couldn't get the connection, 7 yards out, and it trickles wide.
Well, Bournemouth are lucky, because I was surprised at Elphick. Maybe the fact that, Bournemouth tried to play football from the back has changed him. I thought he would have just booted it into the stand. He was onto the ball before Benteke, and not quite sure what he did. In the end, Benteke pinched his pocket, and Milner was unlucky. He didn't make great connection, unfortunately.
I mean, for all the debate about Coutinho and the new offside law and everything, how much of a boost on your home debut for the £32.5 million man is that for Christian Benteke?
Massive. Well, proper strikers just want to come off and score, don't they? Well, actually stay on and score, but they come off having scored, and that's what they're there for. They don't feel like they played if they haven't scored.
And I guess when you're the manager who've just spent the money, which is the second most expensive player in Liverpool's history, you're equally delighted to see him find the back of the net. His 50th goal in English football, incidentally.
Or even relieved.
Yes. Here come Bournemouth though. Josh King was preparing a shot. Can made the challenge. Benteke, who scored 3 goals at Anfield in an Aston Villa shirt, Liverpool knew all about him. Now he's scored in his home debut in Liverpool red, and Liverpool defend that comfortably. Midway inside their own half, Bournemouth have a throw.
I think Brendan Rodgers said to Liverpool at half-time, you've got to play in the faces of Bournemouth. You can't let them do to you what they did in the first 25 minutes of the first half, and that's definitely happened so far, even with the loss of Henderson.
Well, stating the obvious, the next goal absolutely pivotal. And Bournemouth have given it away cheaply again. And he got away with it because it then rebounded back to Sermon. Daniels has it just inside his own half, trying to find Gradle. Run by Milner. Good pressing again from James Milner. Gradle, the Ivory Coast international, steps inside, the man now wearing the Liverpool captain's armband, who's making the challenge again. Somehow or other he made 5 yards in a blink of an eye there, James Milner, to make another tackle. It's come back out to Gradle. Milner's back there helping Klein out again, lofted in by Daniels. An awkward one for young Gomez. His first touch wasn't convincing, his second one got it away, only as far as Ritchie, who's able to cross it back in. Mignolet just about was able to get his hands to it. He misjudged it in the air, and it goes for a Bournemouth corner.
It's a little bit Supermanish in the end. At least he dealt with it and dealt with the danger and got it out into the stand.
Just reacted at the last moment there, Simon Mignolet. So Bournemouth have once again sent Cook and Elphick forward as Gradle takes the corner towards that near post. Has flicked off the head of Lallana and into the path of Ibe, who's able to run and bring it clear. Over halfway, there's two in his wake here, Jordan Ibe. Lovely sidestep inside to find Chan. Coutinho and Benteke ahead of him. Lallana had Gradle on. The crowd told him there was a man on, but he still lost possession. Skirtle with the interception at the other end. Much more open in the second half.
Well, and quicker, Steve. I think the game's quicker, to be honest with you.
Here's Daniels, the 28-year-old in the left-back position for Bournemouth. And again, he's able to make the run forward over halfway into the feet of Wilson, who wrestles away from Skirtle and then brings in Andrew Sermon in the centre of the Bournemouth midfield. Francis, the right-back. Now Ritchie. O'Kane lifting it forward. Comfortable for Lovren to win it back for Liverpool, and then for Chan. Lovren wasn't expecting the quick pass from Chan. He was under pressure from Wilson as well.
I don't think he wanted it as well, as much as expecting it.
He got away with it, and it's back with Chan. Coutinho dropping deep inside his own half to get back on the ball for Liverpool, who lead by a goal to nil after 57 minutes on 5 Live. And remember, we're here till 10:30 Football Social. The lines are open at 9:30, 0500 909 693. Tweet us at 5Live Sport or text 85058. Klein stepping inside from the right back position, midway inside the Bournemouth half for Liverpool. Lallana now over to Joe Gomez, the England under-19 international. Gets it back from Ibe, the two teenagers down the Liverpool left. Amongst all the big money signings and internationals, Chan has time to assess the situation right on the halfway line, and he went left to Gomez. He gets it back after the interception of Simon Francis. Bournemouth just sitting in when Liverpool have the ball, but Lovren has played a brilliant diagonal ball, and the offside flag is up right in front of Nathaniel Klein. So Bournemouth have the opportunity to build again. And whatever happens in the remaining minutes, they'll have belief from their performance so far. But O'Kane, not for the first time tonight, took a chance midway inside his own half.
He was fortunate.
They might be learning the lesson the hard way, Bournemouth, with a few more of those. Here's Sermon, midway inside the Liverpool half. Daniels forward again down the left. Gradle ahead of him, just steps inside Daniels, went quickly at King, then it came into Ritchie. Well, it was a really powerful strike. I think Ritchie thought it was in as well.
I honestly thought, I was just expecting to see the net bulge, and he struck it. Superb strike coming in from the right hand side, left foot, and just smashed the ball. It was hit with him anyway with a little bit of pace on it. Oh, that's clipped the outside of the post.
Just a couple of inches away, Matt Ritchie, from drawing Bournemouth level. They are making a change. Bournemouth, they are giving a debut to their signing from Middlesbrough, Lee Tomlin, and he has come on to replace
Chappers
King.
I think the shot actually hit somebody in the face. Looks like they might have had to have a little bit of treatment from the stewards, etc., first aid people. That hurt.
What happened, of course, with Lukaku at the weekend? He went galloping into the crowd to see who it was and speak to them.
Gave them a shirt, didn't he?
Indeed. Mind you, he's not to wear Everton's green shirt again.
Yeah, but apparently they don't know where it is. Can't find it. That camouflage shirt.
His sermon for Bournemouth. So just to confirm, Tomlin is on for Bournemouth. It's his debut. He of course played in the playoff final defeat for Middlesbrough. 11 goals in the championship for them last season. Josh King has gone off, and it's still 1-0 Liverpool. And we've had 61 minutes on 5 Live at Anfield.
Just looking where Tomlin will play.
Are you going to answer your own question, or?
In a minute when I see where he's playing, yeah.
You're leaning over, I'm worried about you there.
No. I think he'll probably just play off Wilson, will he not? But difficult at the moment because obviously Liverpool have the ball.
It's a high vantage point. I'm not sure about you, I don't like to lean over too much here.
No, not here, don't worry. Have you ever been on this when it's windy?
Yes.
No, it's not good, is it?
No. Delighted to be here in August. 1-0 Liverpool. Klein with the throw, and it's cleared by Cook. Chan battling away with Tomlin. And the debutants in bright yellow boots. We were talking about transfer fees earlier on. £3.5 million they've paid to Middlesbrough for Lee Tomlin.
And didn't Middlesbrough go and spend that money on Nugent, I think?
Yes.
Not a bad bit of business.
And they're still trying to get Rhodes. Here's Tomlin. He's away from Lallana. Ritchie, edge of the penalty area. Cutting inside again. Good shot again. Excellent block from Joe Gomez as well.
This time when he cut inside, Ritchie, Liverpool suddenly realised danger, and they were very quick and very good in terms of closing him down.
He's very quick over the first couple of yards as well. Wilson, lovely ball into O'Kane, into the side netting. Well, O'Kane just couldn't quite get his angle right.
No. Great ball into his path as well. I feel, looking at it, as though his first touch just took him away from goal, and Wilson was screaming at him in the middle of the box.
And certainly got away from his marker.
Yeah, he had an extra touch, Steve, didn't he? Again, that's the championship thing, isn't it? Should have one out of his feet and one for the cross, really.
Positive period, Laura, for Bournemouth, though.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe is still, as he has been right from minute one, on that far side, in the technical area, hands on hips, clapping his hands, encouraging his troops. They had the best away record, in the entire championship last season. And now still in their first away game in the Premier League. 63.5 minutes gone on 5 Live. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. The all-important goal after 26 minutes from Christian Benteke, but a little bit of controversy and confusion.
Easy for you to say.
About that. Good job I hadn't been on your wine. With Philip Coutinho in the interfering position, we'll call it, and Elphick with a goal that was perfectly good, according to
went really well.
You get the general idea.
Yeah.
1-0 Liverpool. Cook. Wonderful diagonal ball into Ritchie. Square back to O'Kane. Bournemouth having plenty of the ball here. They've lost out midway inside the Liverpool half, and Klein is in an advanced position. He sprints forward up against Daniels and ran the ball straight into the Bournemouth left back. Now Sherman under pressure from Coutinho. It's positive from the new boys, and here they come again down the left hand side with Gradle. Milner back in the right back position, helping out Klein, and Tomlin, and then Ritchie again with a chance to shoot. This time it deflected off Lovren. Another Bournemouth corner.
He must have had 3 shots in the last 5 minutes, Ritchie, I think. Suddenly got an appetite for it. Good break though by Bournemouth.
And Ritchie himself, a 25-year-old, in his grey boots, will trot over on the far side as we look at it at the Cop end to take this Bournemouth corner. Liverpool have everybody back to defend it. Benteke inside his own 6-yard box. Cook and Elphick lurking there again. Whipped in by Ritchie. Dangerous one. Mignolet came, got nothing on it. Went all the way through. Nervous moment for Liverpool goalkeeper. Kept in by Gradle. Up against Ibe. Gradle again. Back to Daniels. Liverpool can't get out here. Daniels drifts past Chan and then drills the cross into the arms of Mignolet, who gathers inside his 6-yard box.
Just too close. The worry about Mignolet wasn't the fact that he missed the cross, it's the fact he was nowhere near the cross.
Couple of nervous moments for the Liverpool goalkeeper on cross balls in this second half.
And I think they look great in all yellow goalkeepers.
Bright yellow as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's Lallana on the turn and on the run as well for Liverpool. Midway inside the Bournemouth half. Now right edge of the penalty area is Ibe, who has come across to this right-hand side now, but he can't get past Daniels. He's been a strong figure at left back for Bournemouth tonight. And it's back with Milner in his blue boots. Liverpool captain's armband on this Liverpool right, looking for the run of Lallana into the penalty area. Lovely control from Lallana. Looks for support. Milner demanded it square. It's gone back to Ibe instead. He now tries the 1-2 with Milner. Got past the first man, didn't get past the second. And the handball shout from the crowd as well.
I think that's harsh. What is he supposed to do? He's just whacked at him. I don't get that. Sorry, referee doesn't understand the game.
Might have been the referee's assistant who gave
he doesn't understand the game.
Andy Garrett. It was Charlie Daniels who was penalised as Ibe went through.
See what he can do, Stephen. It happens so quickly. You can handle the ball that quickly. You're in the wrong sport. You should be playing rugby.
He was looking the other way, in fairness, as well, Daniels.
She was after.
So this is just a yard outside the penalty area. Free kick for Liverpool, right side. Philip Coutinho behind it. 3-man wall assembled for Bournemouth.
You see what I mean about the wall? If you take the wall out, what does he do?
Yep. Craig Pawson is currently making sure with the spray that wall is 10 yards.
Straight line as well. Did well there with the spray.
Chan and Coutinho behind the free kick. Skirtle is in there. Then Teke too, and Ibe and Lovren. It's left for Coutinho, who was going for goal himself, and dare I say it, the wall did its job.
Well, yeah, but in saying that, Boric would have just thrown his cap on it eventually when it got to him if there wasn't a wall.
And if he was wearing a cap.
Well, yeah.
But Bournemouth have it with Daniels, 10 yards inside his own half, and it's cut out by Kleiner. Liverpool just can't relax here, still at 1-0 up with 22 minutes to go on 5 Live.
Firmino possibly, I think, coming on?
He is getting final instructions from Gary McAllister on the far side. The Brazilian primed for his home debut. Here's another Brazilian, Coutinho, inside the centre circle. Crossfield to Ibe, who's back on the left-hand side now, up against Ritchie and Francis. Liverpool still leading by just that Benteke goal after 26 minutes. 1-0 on the opening weekend, 1-0 in their opening home game here, currently on 5 Live. Remember, full commentary again tomorrow night, Champions League special qualifier, 6:30 start on 5 Live Sport for Manchester United against Bruges. On Saturday, Manchester United, Newcastle, 12:45 kick-off. John Murray and Chris Waddle for that one. And breaking news, Loro goes to Leicester, 3 o'clock on Saturday with Ian Dennis for Leicester against Tottenham. Benteke edge of the area, Coutinho took it first time. Got underneath it, he was trying to curl it towards the top corner. Goal kick Bournemouth.
Good idea as well, nice weight on the pass from Benteke if you want your man to hit it first time, and not too dissimilar from his opportunity in the first half from Coutinho.
So James Milner departs for Liverpool, and the standing ovation and noise you can hear is because Liverpool are going to give a home debut to a 5th player tonight, number 11, Roberto Firmino.
I think it's Ibe that's gone off, isn't it?
Oh, Milner's come back on.
Yeah, I think probably just went on to find out what was happening.
Confused us all by going off the pitch. Yeah, so Milner on, has stayed on, he's still the Liverpool captain. Ibe has gone off, and the Anfield crowd get their first glimpse of Roberto Firmino, the 23-year-old, the £29 million man the Brazilian international, as Benteke shows really good control inside his own half and then spreads the pass right side to Klein. 20 minutes left at Anfield. So Coutinho, Lallana, Benteke and Firmino on for Liverpool. And Coutinho is chasing the ball down the right hand side with Cook. He isn't going to get there, and it's a goal kick to Bournemouth.
Yeah, so Firmino just play on the left, Lallana alongside him, as it were, and Coutinho on the right.
Firmino, of course, hasn't had as much pre-season as the rest. That's why Brendan Rodgers is easing him in from the bench.
Yeah.
But he has pointed out this week he's getting stronger and sharper. Another 20 minutes for him here, having come on in the victory at Stoke at the opening weekend. Coutinho, 10 yards outside the penalty area, rolls it to the right hand side to Milner. Time to steady himself, left-footed cross, goalkeeper backpedaled, well defended by Bournemouth, came back to Coutinho, terrific block by Sermon, right on the penalty spot to deny the Brazilian, and Bournemouth bring it clear. And then Gradle played a extremely risky pass square. Benteke felt he was fouled, Craig Pawson didn't. It's getting a little more frantic. Ritchie now for Bournemouth on the far side, trying to thread it through to Wilson, harmlessly through to Mignolet.
Yeah, just look at Wilson, looks as though his legs have gone a little bit.
Liverpool searching for that goal that they would feel would make absolutely sure and seal it. All about opening the season with back-to-back victories. Remember their start, it was well publicised. Arsenal away next, they're back here to play West Ham, and then Manchester United away. 2 clean sheets and 6 points would be a welcome foundation before those two couple of trips, as Lovren plays it forward to Firmino on halfway. He's dispossessed by Ritchie, and the lines are now open for the Football Social. And that give us a call, 0500 909 693, gets you through to Laura at full time. Any of the discussion points from the weekend, from today, and of course we have the old offside rule to discuss after Liverpool's goal tonight. You can get in touch via Twitter at 5LiveSport, text us 85058. And the groan from Laura is because
no, it's Lallana just caught. Okay, why do we call it Football Social? Do you know?
Because you're so sociable.
Why not call it Football?
You've asked a lot of questions tonight. That's probably the most unintelligent one of the evening. The rest were very relevant. You're here till 10:30. Stop trying to get out.
I'm here all week.
And you're in Leicester on Saturday. Now, Benteke's on the chase. Left-hand side, Bournemouth scampering back. It's O'Kane ahead of him. He squared it to Coutinho. Edge of the area on the volley. Charlie Daniels brilliantly came across and made the all-important block.
Yeah, and a good pass by Benteke. But you know what? I thought he was just going to go take the defender as a midfield player. I just thought Benteke would have taken him on, at least cut inside and gone whack. I was really surprised he actually passed to Coutinho. There was no need to.
Little too unselfish there from Benteke. Chan now, ball in towards Benteke, tried to take it down, well defended by Francis, gathered in the 6-yard box by Boric. As we approach the last 15 minutes at Anfield. Not since Chelsea won here in 2003 have Liverpool lost their opening home Premier League match, and they still have their noses in front here on 5 Live. Daniels on halfway. Remember that number, 0500 909 693. Lines are open now. We're here till 10:30 at 5 Live Sport, or text us 85058. We'll be digging out that offside interpretation again, no doubt, as Bournemouth get a free kick.
I was just thinking, for all the play Bournemouth, has Mignolet made a really outstanding save? I don't think he has he?
But has Boric?
No, that's true.
There's a yellow card been shown as well to Gomez. The 18-year-old is in the book, and he's back in the Liverpool back line to defend this free kick, which is just 10 yards or so inside the Liverpool half on the right hand side, and it is going to be Matt Ritchie to deliver it. Concentration time for Liverpool, fizzed in by Ritchie. Benteke was back there to good effect to win the defensive header, dropped only as far as Tomlin though. Now Gradle on the Bournemouth left, unable to get past Klein, back inside to Tomlin, promising from Bournemouth, but nipped back from Emre Can, and then he just goes up a gear and tries to drive forward for Liverpool. And then in his attempts to win it back, Ritchie is not only penalised, he's booked, shown the yellow card, free kick Liverpool.
Well, in all honesty, he didn't really need to challenge him, Ritchie, because he was running out of ideas and energy, Can, and I think he's just about to overrun the ball as well.
So Liverpool have the free kick, just on the edge of the centre circle, which Can takes square to Gomez. Can once more, and it's going to go all the way back to Lovren, and then Mignolet. And it's now with the bald-headed figure of Martin Skrtel. He thought about the long ball, went short instead to Lallana. Here's Coutinho. Again, Liverpool have been patient in possession, but haven't always had that cutting edge going forward, Laura.
No, I'll tell you what, as well, with them defensively a little bit, is that, you know, Skrtel and Lovren haven't really come up on too many occasions, but free kicks or corners either, as though the manager's saying, look, you know, let's protect the nil, because, you know, he fancies obviously the likes of Benteke, Coutinho, whoever to score at the end, but let's just protect the nil and let's get off to a good start that way.
And how long does it take for two defenders who've come together like Skrtel and Lovren and have to get an understanding, to get a good relationship, or do sometimes just hit it off?
Shouldn't take too long, but you know what, I think one of the great problems, and I'm a Skrtel fan, and I don't think he's a great communicator.
He wasn't required there because Lallana nipped in for Liverpool just outside their own penalty area, and the former Southampton player has it back again. He was caught by Tomlin.
Now that's a booking. He's booking him, sorry.
He is booking
Take it all back.
You've always loved this referee.
Yeah, it's the Urku.
That's the shade of Craig Pawson's refereeing top, in case anyone listening is wondering what
Very
we're talking
beige, isn't it?
about.
Beige. It's a bit like his performance.
Well, I said beige and you said, what did you say, Urku?
Urku. I'm pretty sure the Liverpool shirt, I think they called it Urku.
You've outdone me there. Hands down.
That was a first.
Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. 13 minutes to go on 5 Live. Another yellow card. That was Lee Tomlin with the latest one. Sean O'Driscoll has joined Brendan Rodgers in the technical area. Just a conversation going on between manager and assistant.
Now, if you're Bournemouth, do you think you put another forward on, as in saying, look, you know, we may as well lose 2-0 by trying to get a 1-1, or are you going to stay the same? Because Tomlin's come on and he's not really had any effect on this game whatsoever. And Wilson now, he's just been chasing shadows for 15 minutes.
Here's Coutinho, midway inside the Bournemouth half in the central area, trying to feed Firmino. One Brazilian to another. Liverpool's new boy has got possession, but he can't find Milner with the square ball. Cut out by Gomez. Can put under pressure, and unfair pressure by Wilson. Liverpool take the free kick quickly. Gomez once more. Firmino. Lallana's made the run ahead of him. Benteke points to feet, but it's gone square to Milner, and he's got Klein as the option to his right. Milner once more. Can available. A lot of running here for Bournemouth without touching the ball. Now Gomez 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half, left hand side. Back to Can once more. One touch from Gomez, trying to feed Lallana, and Francis did think momentarily about the back pass to his goalkeeper Boric, and rather sensibly just plays it off the legs of Lallana and out for a Bournemouth throw.
Here comes a Bournemouth change. Surely it has to be a forward thinking one to try and pinch a point.
Well,
and a Liverpool change by the looks of things. Mourinho.
There's Francis with the throw. Tomlin goes back to Pugh. And Daniels now has it on the left-hand side for Bournemouth. The time ticking away from them, but he's gone for the return ball inside the penalty area. Daniels, and much to Chan's frustration.
I just wonder. I think Chan thought. Well, I think Chan thought that the final touch came off Daniels.
Either way, it's a Bournemouth corner, which is taken in between the 6-yard box and the edge of it. And it was Cook that came flying in. He got a touch, but he couldn't direct it goalwards. And Liverpool survive.
Substitution for Bournemouth.
Bournemouth are now making the change. It is Adam Smith for Max Gradle. Smith, who only started 6 games in the Championship last season, in his second campaign having left Spurs. He could have a loan spell a little bit earlier on in his career. So Alberto Moreno is coming on for Liverpool, and Coutinho is going off, Laura.
Well, I would think he'd just play on the left, Moreno. He's going to sit and play on the left-hand side, basically. A little bit of protecting what they've got.
Just listen to the ovation for Philippe Coutinho. Had a great chance at the end of the first half to make it 2-0 and to make this more comfortable for Liverpool. And he goes off, and the Spaniard Moreno is on.
Actually, Chaffers just made a good point. Liverpool might go 3 at the back. Gomez, Lovren, Skirtle, obviously Klein and Moreno, wing backs.
I always said he was a good tactician, so he's just living up to the hype.
Who?
Chappers.
I think meant Brendan Rodgers.
Here's Moreno in that left wing back position. No foul. Smith, the Bournemouth substitute, then challenging with the Spaniard, and Liverpool get the throw right on the halfway line in front of their main stand, and the watching directors were led to believe that John W. Henry was in attendance tonight.
Is his wife with him?
Here is Milner.
She's queen of the tweet, isn't she? I do believe. Not that I do it myself.
That would be the day. Here's Moreno. Cut out by Elphick. That would be even more remarkable than getting you to Leicester on a Saturday afternoon.
Behave yourself.
Benteke. Reminder, tomorrow night, 5 Live Sport, Champions League qualifier, Manchester United Bruges, 6:30, new time for 5 Live Sport. 2 commentaries on Saturday, 12:45, Manchester United Newcastle, and then Leicester Spurs at 3, and Sunday it is Everton Manchester City from 4, all part of 128 live Premier League commentaries on 5 Live this season, more than any other broadcaster.
So 6:30 on air tomorrow night. Well, you'll be talking about the inside of a ping pong ball by about 7:45.
I'm sure you'll be tuning in.
It'll be very social, that programme.
Oh dear. 7.5 minutes of this one left. Still Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. Benteke's played a curious ball, square just in front of his own penalty area. Bournemouth desperately trying to get it, and they've managed to. It's gone back to Daniels. Now Wilson. Ritchie was in support. Here is Matt Ritchie. Floated in. Not the worst delivery. It was Tomlin who was jumping for it. Moreno heads it away. And then the long-range effort came in from O'Kane, smashed against the head of Skirtle.
Just got straight up, didn't he?
Just shook his head and carried on playing. But Bournemouth are still in possession, and Liverpool haven't closed this out just yet. O'Kane across to the right-hand side with Smith. Francis in support. Back to O'Kane, the Irishman. Then Sermon. Liverpool sitting in. Ritchie. And that was a disappointing ball from him, but it might still come to Francis on the far side. Gomez is there first, and he hooks it upfield. Bouncing ball for Elphick to deal with. Run back by Benteke, lovely piece of skill, and then a head back to Gomez. Liverpool supporters enjoyed that, and at the moment, as it stands, he's the match winner, Christian Benteke. But they're not doing it the straightforward way, Liverpool. Here comes Daniels for Bournemouth. His ball just left Ritchie a little short. All down the left-hand side, midway inside the Liverpool half. Sherman, O'Kane. Now Elphick, the captain, encouraged to stride forward and join in. Smith, the substitute, up against Moreno. Into Tomlin. Chance to turn inside the penalty area. Shots blocked. Bournemouth corner.
Right, well, the thing about this now is that Mignolet's come for 2 crosses, he didn't catch one, he actually caught it with his fist and pushed it away, didn't look great, missed the second one. Surely you load the box if you're Bournemouth, don't foul, try and block the goalkeeper, and you might just come away with something.
Their first visit to Anfield since 1968. 5 minutes to go, trailing by 1-0. Corner lifted in, Mignolet came, backpedaled and got away with it.
Well done Bournemouth, because that's exactly what they did. They stuck it in the mixer, and all of a sudden Mignolet didn't know whether to twist or stick, and in the end, actually, I thought they should have done better with the opportunity, Bournemouth. Good corner right on the edge of the 6-yard box.
A little bit low, Laura.
Exactly. It's just a whole host of players, and we know it can go anywhere. And where was Mignolet going? Because he surely cannot get in there. There must have been 8 players in front of him. This is how he started the season last season.
Yep, still encouraging signs for Bournemouth late on here that they might be able to grab something. Their first ever away game in the top flight. Francis on halfway, has Smith ahead of him, Tomlin square of him, goes back to OK. He switches play to Ritchie, is now operating down the left hand side for Bournemouth. Early cross from him towards Wilson, headed clear by Lovren. Nervous one from Moreno, who kept his eye on the ball. Then Francis, strong finish this from Bournemouth. Smith back to O'Kane, everybody except Benteke back for Liverpool. Lallana to good effect on the edge of his own area to dispossess Wilson and bring it clear. But it did go out of play on the far side, so it's a Bournemouth throw, and this little bit of pressure continues.
Yeah, just a little bit low, Steve, to stick the ball in Bournemouth as they make another change. O'Kane going up, I think.
It is O'Kane who departs. And Gosling, the former Everton player who once famously scored an FA Cup winner against Liverpool. In extra time, he's on.
Was that the tic-tac goal?
It was. Long throw. First flick, second flick from Tomlin. Header comfortable for Mignolet to hold on his line. Bournemouth trying to put him under as much pressure as possible.
Was there a spattering of applause? I don't know whether it was because he caught it or because Bournemouth didn't score.
And Mignolet is in no hurry to release this from his hands, bounces it a couple of times inside the penalty area, kicks from his hands and launches it forward towards Benteke, headed back forward from Elphick, only as far as Milner. Inside the last 3 minutes now on 5 Live, Liverpool still leading by just 1-0. But here's Milner just outside the penalty area. Firmino on for his home debut, trying to find a way through. Then it rebounds to Klein onto his left foot. His shot always drifting wide of the right hand post.
I mean, it is amazing with Liverpool is take Coutinho out of the situation. It's not the same, is it? Absolutely, totally not the same. I know Firmino, he's come on. This is second week running, and it take a while to settle in, but shows you that Coutinho, with his ability, what he does for this team.
Yep, there is a reliance already, you feel, on Philippe Coutinho, who's no longer on the pitch. And Daniels is striding forward down the left-hand side for Bournemouth. Ritchie to deliver the cross. That one is more comfortable for Mignolet. Gathers under no challenge whatsoever and flaps his hands as if to say, keep calm, we're almost there.
Well, all the punters are saying, go on, get it out. Well, just, why don't you just make sure they get 3 points first?
Just as it was on the opening weekend. As it stands, it's 1-0 Liverpool with a clean sheet. Just like down the East Lancs Road at the moment, as it stands, it'll be 2 1-0 wins, 6 points out of 6, but not convincing.
No. All you can really say is good start, and two clean sheets as well, just like Manchester United, and also Liverpool without really a holding midfield player, which is interesting. No Lucas, obviously, no Allen.
Lucas is fit, Joe Allen isn't. As Cham plays it forward towards Firmino, won by Cook. Drops to Benteke. He goes back to Klein, who's quickly closed down from Ritchie. Bournemouth trying quickly to regain possession in the last minute of the 90. Klein now found on the right hand side, edge of the penalty area, chance to cross. He does. Benteke against the woodwork and then over from Lallana. Well, that would have sealed it.
I thought Benteke should have scored. Great ball in as well, fantastic ball in early when across his defender. Didn't actually make a great contact or as clean a contact as he would like, most definitely, but great ball in, attacking the ball near post. Should have scored. Didn't really have his head or foot over the ball, or his knee over the ball, I should say. And if anyone widened that screen as well in front of us, might be able to see it one week.
4 minutes added time.
4 more minutes of time to add on. Don't forget those lines are open for the Football Social. 0500 909 693. Via Twitter at @5LiveSport. Text us 85058. As Gosling has it for Bournemouth. They're still in this game and fighting. Francis with the cross. Came off Moreno. Gosling couldn't quite bring it under control. Cleared by Chan. And now Milner. He's encouraged forward by the Liverpool supporters. Moreno. There's only really Benteke up with him. He's still going, Moreno. He's all alone. Alberto Moreno went alone. Fouled on the edge of the area. And it is a Liverpool free kick.
I'm not really sure it was that bad a foul either, but anyway, the referee's given. It's a fantastic position for Liverpool. I would think, well, Benteke will be wanting to take it. I would think Firmino as well will want to take it. Great run by Moreno. Was he fouled? He was eased off the ball, shall we say.
The yellow card for the Bournemouth defender. Cook. He was pleading his innocence.
Benteke taking this. Actually, it wasn't Firmino around the ball, it was Chan, wasn't it, as well? I don't think the ball's staying there somehow.
I think the magic spray will be required here, as Craig Pawson rather efficiently strides and paces out.
Now this is where you do need a wall.
Agreed. Approaching the 92nd minute then. 1-0 Liverpool on 5 Live. Free kick just a couple of yards outside the penalty area. It's touched to Milner. One touch, and then he was trying to curler, and I have to say he got it horribly wrong.
He will get slaughtered in the dressing room by the rest of the players after that. Absolutely slaughtered. Why not, if you're Benteke, take a massive run at it and just smash it? Because I'll tell you something, if us three were in that wall and Hook, our engineer, we'd all be ducking if he's hitting it.
I'm not so sure Hook would.
Well, he couldn't get out of the way, that's the problem.
Here's Benteke, and across came Elphick to stop the run of Moreno. Less than 2 minutes to go. Sermon for Bournemouth, who could still snatch a point here. Smith. 4 waiting in the penalty area. Wilson stopped by Moreno, and it came off Francis last, much to the frustration of the Bournemouth fullback. It's a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, but you know what? Bournemouth had a chance to deliver the ball in the box,
and they didn't deliver it early. And the seconds tick by. Liverpool still with that Christian Benteke goal, leading by 1-0 as we approach the final minute of stoppage time at Anfield on 5 Live. Daniels. Crossfield from Ritchie. Gomez was looking for it. They managed to get it across Bournemouth with Smith. Good defending from Lovren.
Smith did great and stretching, got it back on the half volley.
Last chance saloon for Bournemouth. Sermon into the feet of Tomlin. Hooked away inside his own penalty area from Milner. Whistles all round Anfield. We're 30 seconds or so away from that yet. Benteke trying to switch plays, giving it straight to Ritchie. Little touch from him into Wilson. Terrific tracking back from Klein. He puts it out for a throw, which Bournemouth understandably want to take quickly. Wilson takes it. This needs to go forward for Bournemouth. In from Daniels. Up go the central defenders. Elphick trying to get on the end of it. There was a foul as well. It's a Liverpool free kick.
Yeah, it's a foul on Moreno, wasn't it, all day long? I would think that's probably it. Interesting Bournemouth. Interesting to see what Eddie Howe says. I mean, in terms of application and discipline, and apart from the goal really, and effort and enthusiasm, they've shown an awful lot that suggests that they're going to get some results in the Premier League. Just a little bit worried in terms of in front of goal. Not really created anything clear cut, have they? Header from a corner, that would really just about it. Mind you, Liverpool haven't created that much either.
He will point to that disallowed goal, no question about that, when it was 0-0 in the first half. There's Craig Pawson's whistle. There's another 3 points for Liverpool. 2 wins out of 2 to start the season. 2 clean sheets to boot, and a home debut goal for Christian Benteke to settle it after 26 minutes. The discussion is whether Coutinho was in an offside position and affected the goalkeeper. The referee said no, the goal stood, and it is the golden goal that gives the Liverpool a 100% start to the season. 6 points from 6. They've beaten Bournemouth by 1-0.